Welcome back, everyone, to Monday Minutes, your go-to podcast for the latest and sometimes oddest in cybersecurity news and analysis. I'm your host, Rod Trent, and today we're diving into some alarming developments. We have a lot to get to, so roll the intro. Our first story involves the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, and its access to federal systems. Recently, multiple cybersecurity experts have raised concerns about DOGE's ability to access and modify federal agencies' systems. This issue was highlighted in a foreign policy op-ed by Bruce Schneier and Davey Ottenheimer. Let's break down their key points. Okay. First, if you believe all the media hype, DOGE staffers have been granted access to various federal systems, allowing them to not only to read, but also to modify information. This includes deploying AI models to analyze internal data. Even more concerning, an unauthorized server has been connected to the U.S. Office of Personnel Management's infrastructure. Schneier and Ottenheimer emphasize two major risks. The first is the unknown configuration and security of the systems DOGE staffers have connected to the federal infrastructure. That's obvious. There's no evidence that these systems have undergone rigorous security testing, much like some other systems that we're familiar with. The second risk is the replacement of experienced cybersecurity officials with DOGE staffers, which is undermining the government's breach prevention workflows. All right, this could have severe implications for the security of federal systems. To address these risks, the op-ed suggests three steps. Number one, revoke unauthorized access. Number two, restore system monitoring. And three, change management workflows. Sound familiar? And then also at the end, conduct audits of unaffected or even affected infrastructure. So this situation has drawn criticism not only from outside experts, but also from former federal officials. They argue that DOGE staffers are not complying with federal cybersecurity laws and the controls that have been established by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST. As we continue to monitor this situation, it's clear that maintaining robust cybersecurity measures is crucial for protecting our federal systems, or any system that we're responsible for. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story. But then again, remember, it's key to highlight a couple things, all right? This story from Schneier and Ottenheimer is an op-ed, meaning it's full of lots of opinion and very little of it is fact-based. The DOGE team members were hired for their expertise, and knowing who the U.S. government tends to hire for these areas, I'm sorry, but the DOGE is probably a few tiers better than those that have existed in these permanent roles. The other bit that anyone affected by DOGE's findings, whether it's corruption or inefficiency, they're probably going to be, let's just say, defensive. All right? But it will still be interesting to watch how this plays out. So we'll keep tabs on it as we go along. Next up, we talked about this last week a bit, but today I'm going to dive into it again because additional critical issues involving the Chinese AI company DeepSeek and the significant cybersecurity risk it poses has surfaced. All right. If you remember, DeepSeek has recently emerged as a major player in the AI space, developing its R1 chatbot at the fraction of the cost of competitors like OpenAI's ChatGPT and Google's Gemini. However, this rapid rise has brought with it some alarming concerns, particularly regarding user privacy and data security. Millions of users, including government employees, have flocked to DeepSeek's website, sharing personal information without considering the potential security and privacy risks. Oh my goodness, they're all users. Despite security awareness training, many users drop their guard when engaging with new platforms, making them prime targets for cyber adversaries. not only making them personally targets, but the entire organization that they work for. DeepSeek's privacy policy reveals that it collects a vast array of data, far surpassing even TikTok, which is already a known national security concern. This includes user input, IP addresses, device identifiers, keystroke patterns, and much, much more. Much of this data is absolutely unnecessary for AI query purposes, which is why it's raising significant privacy concerns. Social media and internet apps present a major blind spot in cybersecurity. Attackers can silently gather data from these platforms, exploiting it to guess passwords, impersonate individuals, or craft targeted phishing attacks. Businesses are often the prime targets due to the higher rewards, and, understandably, a user can install it on any device they use for work. To minimize risk exposure, users should follow key measures such as reviewing privacy policies, using strong and unique passwords, enabling multi-factor authentication, and limiting personal information shared online. Regularly updating software and monitoring account activity are also crucial steps. Applying patches, still security. All right. By implementing these measures, users can significantly reduce their risk exposure and better protect their personal and professional information from cyber threats. Stay vigilant and stay informed. All right. And lastly, a significant security flaw has been discovered in YouTube and Google that could have exposed users' email addresses. Again, using things on personal devices that you use for work. Recently, cybersecurity researchers known as Brutecat and Nathan uncovered a vulnerability that revealed the email addresses of YouTube users. This flaw, if exploited, could have had massive privacy implications, especially for those who rely on anonymity, such as whistleblowers and activists. All right. The researchers found that blocking a user on YouTube exposed a unique internal identifier called a GAIA, or GAIA, ID. This identifier is used across all Google platforms, including Gmail and Google Drive. By accessing the block function in a user's live chat profile, they triggered an API request that revealed the GAIA ID. With the GAIA ID in hand, Brutecat and Nathan tested old Google products to see if they can convert these IDs into actual email addresses. They used Google's Recorder app for Pixel devices and manipulated the system to break the email notification process, effectively revealing the email addresses associated with the GAIA IDs. Fortunately, Google has addressed this vulnerability, which was actually disclosed in September of 2024 last year, and fixed by this year, February 2025. Google confirmed that there were no signs of active exploitation of the flaw. The researchers were rewarded $10,633 for their efforts in identifying and reporting the issue. This incident highlights the importance of continuous vigilance in cybersecurity. Even the most trusted platforms can have vulnerabilities that, if left unchecked, could lead to significant privacy breaches. Always stay informed and proactive in protecting your digital identity. Okay, that's all for today's episode of Monday Minutes. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and just a heads up, Monday Minutes will be on hiatus for a couple weeks as I am actually traveling to Paris to celebrate my 35th wedding anniversary with my wife, and then on to Denmark the week after that to deliver the State of the Union for Microsoft Security Copilot, and also host a panel on Microsoft Security Initiative at an event called Experts Live. I believe I'm also on tap to chat with a few folks at the Microsoft office in Copenhagen somewhere along the way too, so hopefully if you're listening, I'll see you there. And with that, I'll see you all back here on Monday, March 10th. Until then, stay safe and stay informed.